Hello everyone, my name is Bishal Oli and today I'm presenting on the final assessment of routing and switching. Me and Dipesh Nupani, we are in the same group. We have divided the work on two parts. So on my part, I'm gonna discuss about the redundancy strategy, my recommendation on the topic of my assignments. So now I'm gonna share my screen. Yeah. So this is my work, and our topic is upgrading network design for Sydney and Melbourne branches, including the route, redundancy, wireless security, and monitor solution. So in the assessment two, basically it is related with the assessment two. In the assessment two, we have done this topology. We have done the configuration of VLAN into VLAN, DHCP on the Sydney network, and ACL. And you can see the current network topology uh, that is used in the assessment too. So in this assessment, uh, we're going to do the redundancy strategy, trying to improve the network uh, operation because they are facing some of the challenges in delays and the communication. So this report is actually about the improvement of the topology of the current Sydney ISP and Melbourne network created in the assessment two. So in to enhance the network quicker, uh, mm, volunteering nature and scale. So we have done two things. First, we have introduced the OSPF in the router for the redundancy spanning 3STP and HSRP. So this report suggests the implementation of a centralized network monitoring product, one of these tools, and to mitigate interbranch communication, VPN, to recommend to achieve encrypted and authenticated information transmission between Sydney and Melbourne. So if I'm gonna start with the introduction, so consistent and safe networking is very important in contemporary business operations, especially when linking geographical diverse location. As recorded in assessment two, the network designer able to connect Sydney and Melbourne branches, but some problems persist in forms of delays in communication, insufficient redundancy, and non-availability of wireless services. So this document seeks to improve on the current design based on suggesting the use of proper routing and switching protocols. Suggesting a redundancy plan and covering the issues of wireless security, it assesses network surveillance in addition to provide a proposal for a secure communication system between two branches. So I'm gonna start with the routing and switching and redundancy. First, I'm gonna talk about the current situation and issues that the company is facing on that topology. The topology between Sydney, ISP, and Melbourne router was installed in assessment 2, makes connectivity and has major drawbacks. One of the major drawback was the routing configuration. In the assessment too, we have done the configuration of the static routers. These are not effective, especially in larger expanding environments. So we're going to introduce OSPF. So for the switching redundancy, there is another issue that is switching redundancy. Through Melbourne integrates the redundant physical connection between the switches. There is no redundancy protocols established. So we're going to introduce the spanning tree protocols, which creates rigs of loops and broadcast streams. Basically, for the redundancy, the router of Sydney and Melbourne are also single point of failure. That means failure of either of the sides cause all communication to be lost. The last one is the wireless. The design proposal did not have wireless LAN services. That is one of the major drawbacks and the current issue in the network. So my recommendation on the routing protocols is the OSF. Why I do recommend this OSPF? Because it is an open protocols which guarantees the possibility of working with the equipments of other companies. It has a faster convenience speed as compared to RIP or static route that we have used in the previous assignment. So OSPF2 V2 is recommended in a single area frame area 0. It implements equal cost empathies, deterministic cost-based path selections, and it does have a vendor neutral nature, and it can be extended. So we're gonna use OSPF. I recommend to use OSPF. And another is EIGRP, that is alternative. Either you can use one of these. ERP is a company proprietary Cisco protocol that is, however, very common in business network. It takes the form of dual algorithm and rapidly converts with a network and implement changes. So if I'm gonna do the comparison with the current approach and the previous the static one that we have used, basically OSPF is advised because it is vendor independent, scalable, future-proof solutions to the organization. So I basically recommend to use OSPF for the better network connectivity, faster response in the network. So on the next one, switching and redundancy strategy. In the current instance, there is no control protocol and the presence of additional physical interconnection between switches. Now we are talking about switches. There are quite high chances of network eruptions, broadcast storms, and looping. So my recommendation is to use RSTP, Rapid Spanning Tree Protocol. What does it does in the network is it leaves plenty of links open in a fallback, but it is smart enough to limit the combination that makes so that loop cannot be occur. On the other hand, STP can make redundancy, which is a source of loop, an advantage since redundancy becomes failover. It dissolves more easily than normal STP, allows sharing the advantages of redundancy with higher stability in the network. So I basically recommend for the better communication to use of the RSTP in the switches. Uh, Another issue was the only one to go with the ISP because the Melbourne routers, the switches are connected through the only one ISP. That makes the routers in Sydney and Melbourne written by using HSRP host by router protocol. Basically, using HSRP provides a means of seamless overflow between a pair of routers which shares a virtual IP address, maintain the system running in case that hardware of the router fails. And the next comes with the one redundancy, double one redundancy by adding two MPLS or ISPS connection. The cost matrix can be adjusted to enable OSPF to prioritize a link with the alternative backup link. If you're going to do the comparison that from the previous assignment is that we haven't introduced the one in that network, means the prison structure is insufficient in case of a router or link goes down. The proposed architecture guarantees the continuance of a business and its stability at any cost. So this is my proposed network topology. This is Sydney. This is Melbourne routers connected through the VPN, HSRP, standby, and you can see we have use of different WAN in the proposed network. So these are the network topology diagrams. If I'm gonna talking about summary of recommendation that I have done for this report, looking at the previous requirements. So in the previous one, we have used as static routing. That means we have some of the issues coming up. So I recommend to use OSPF to replace static routing to achieve scalability, interoperability, and improved conversion times. Enable RSTP on the switches. Implement HRSP or VRP in the routers to rule out single points of failures. Install dual one connectivity, deploy once with VLAN guest separation and WPA3 encryption, which is a secure wireless SS. So from the tasks to my fellow friends will gonna describe his recommendation on WAN, security, wireless redundancy, and other things. So thank you. So this is my basic work on the recommendation of redundancy strategy. How can I improve the operation inside the topology, and my new proposed structure of the topology. So thank you. Uh, I hope you have a nice day. Bye bye.